the Aroma Success Show. If you don't know by now, my name is Renee Hughes. I'm the host of the show and the owner of the Aroma Specialist. And what we're doing here is we're having conversations with successful entrepreneurs who have included aromatherapy into their business. They're holistic pros, they're in the health and wellness industry, they're doing things. And we wanted to get to know them a little bit about what gave them the courage to get started, what their current challenges are, what they love about their business. And each one will leave you with a tip and teach you a little bit of something. What's so fantastic about our guest today is that she's going to talk to us about balance and immunity. So I want all of you to think about, do you remember when, especially our students, you're going to remember us talking about psychoneuroimmunology. Remember that word we could never say? Talking about what happens with our emotions and our immune system, that connection. So she's going to talk a little bit about that. She specifically helps busy moms and their children, right, Jamie?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
With their health and wellness, which I love. So you moms out there, not only that, not only you busy moms who are also aromatherapists and you're coaches and you're doing the thing, but many of you have a clientele who include busy moms. And you really want to get Jamie on to speak to your audience as well. It's always good for us to link arms and kind of share the knowledge in an area where you're not serving. So let's listen up to see what she has to say. And welcome, Jamie. You want to just tell them a little bit more about yourself and what you do?
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. I work a lot with busy moms. I am a busy mom myself, so it's really easy for me to relate, and I understand the need to want things simplified, and I understand that time is so valuable. So I work with busy moms, teaching them how to create balance before we move forward in diving into natural products and natural therapies. So we focus on mom and child. And my motto is always learn, do, and grow together. And I love that.
I love that too. Not being a mom, I feel like moms have a superpower. I watch my friends and my family that have children, and I'm like, I don't have that thing. What you guys have is amazing. And I love the idea. And it's funny because when I'm coaching moms, I'll talk about, trying to get the family involved and the children involved. But because I haven't lived it, it's hard for me to be in that skin and understand what it feels like to be that kind of busy. Mm-hmm. It's a different kind of busy than those of us that don't have children.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It is.
And I do, for your sake, you have your own kind of busy too. So there's definitely a lot of people with a lot of different kinds of busy, but my focus is definitely related to busy moms because that's what I do on the daily.
It's so needed. It's so needed. So before we go into what you're going to teach us today, I want to find out from you, when you were starting your business, when you were first starting, what gave you the confidence and the courage to jump in?
Definitely faith. Mm-hmm. When it came to making the decision from going from a full-time nurse and juggling having new babies and traveling for work, faith definitely was my starting point. I knew that I could do it. I had faith in myself. Mm-hmm. I knew I could make a go and run my own business. And the second would be definitely having a dream. Mm-hmm. And that dream was by far being able to be there for my children and not have to miss out on so many moments. Everybody always said, time flies by. It's just going to fly by. I think that definitely stuck with me. And I wanted to make sure that I could be there for them as much as possible.
That's so beautiful. I really appreciate that. Even being an aunt, I look at my niece and nephew who are, how old are you guys? 13 and 15, something like that. And it's like, it's not possible. They were just babies.
I know.
I don't know what that must feel like for it to just leap like that. And for you to have found a way to actually be present and be there, it can't be easy. And yet I bet it's so rewarding.
It is. Yes. Mm-hmm. Both. Not easy. And yes, rewarding.
Both. I want you all to kind of listen and zone into what she said about faith. And that faith is probably expansive. But part of the faith that she had I know for us, a lot of people in my community, we have faith, like we pray a lot and we're just like, we don't want to do this on our own. We want that support, but also have some faith in yourself as well that you can do that. And she's touched on that. Over and over, we're hearing this, and I always love to emphasize it. And I promise you guys, I have not prepped these people at all. I just asked the question, and yet we keep hearing the same thing. It is that belief that I can do this. I haven't started it yet. I don't have all the pieces together, but I'm doing this. That is so key to your success. And not only where you are, those of you who are at the beginning, most of my audience are advanced. Most of the people that we worked with now, they are advanced. They've been doing this for a while. They've got schools and high profile offers, but you're looking to move into your legacy offer and you're looking to move up. You need that same confidence that you had at the beginning to take that leap again. So really, really think about what she just said. I know my internet's getting wonky, but my audience is used to it. It'll catch up. I have the most patient people in the world. Okay, so what I want to get into now is I want to get into what you're going to teach us about balance and immune systems. So you can just take it away and leave us with what?
Perfect. I think that a lot of times we jump into wanting to learn about natural therapies, natural wellness, different products you hear about. This mom's using that, this neighbor's doing this. And we have to remember that we need to understand what that product can do for our bodies and how it works within. It can't just be a Band-Aid. And with that, we need to find the root cause of what's causing the problem. And this is the same for moms as it is for children. And that's what I love, and the beauty about working with moms is that I can teach and show you how this is presenting in your life and theirs. And a lot of times before you even can learn about products and therapies and self-care and growth, you have to be able to slow down. Life is so busy. It's almost as if we're very robotic. We're just getting through our days. We're running on our children's schedules. We're trying to, run businesses and stuff. It's just sometimes can seem robotic, and we don't want that. We want it to be peaceful and flowy, very nature-like. So in order to get to that point, we really need to allow ourselves and not feel guilty about slowing down and about allowing ourselves time for self-care. And once we can slow down a little bit, we can slowly take baby steps to creating a more balanced life. There's a lot of different areas of balance. And even if we just touch on one and baby step on that one, the domino effect and the benefits, you will be able to see them in the upcoming weeks and months. And over years, you're just going to see this amazing growth. And that's the one part of balance. And the other part of balance that we need to create is the mind and body connection. So I love to focus on that. And it's kind of my own personal story as well, where you do get so busy and you almost feel robotic. And you get to this point where, have you even addressed the emotions that are stored within you? You haven't, right? So you get to this point where it's almost as if your heart and your soul are over here, and here you are. You're still doing the daily grind. You're still going, but you're not able to nourish this part of you that needs the most nourishment.
Completely disconnected, right? Completely disconnected from yourself. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's a terrible feeling, but I think it's so easy to get there and not even know you're there.
Right.
So that's when we really need to learn to allow ourselves to stop and breathe, that it's okay to take care of ourselves and just to settle down and slow down. And just understanding that this is a process that takes baby steps, because when our nervous system is going at that speed, we can't just put it in first gear. It takes time. And eventually, once we can create that self-care routine, and we can create more and more balance as we learn more. We can learn body awareness. We can learn what to do to nourish our body by what our body is telling us. And that is when we start to grow in all areas. And we can do that with our children too, which is the fun part, but we have to do that within ourselves first. We have to really learn what our body needs, nourish it, create that balance. And in turn, we're going to start sleeping better. Our nervous system is going to calm down. We're going to realize that we have time to think. Our body functions, our digestive system is going to be better. We're going to be more focused. Things are going to be more clear. And best of all, as a mom, how you respond to things is going to be that much more grounded and thought out versus just a reaction, like your nervous system just wants to react to whatever that just was. You actually have the ability to slow down and be the mom that you want to be and provide for your children in the way that you want to provide. And once you get to that point, you actually can stay focused on learning those natural wellness tools that you can use for yourself and your child. So if that makes sense, that's why I like to go backwards and start, because I want your focus. I want you to really, truly understand and have a love in the wellness field like I do, and for how things can truly heal you, and just changing your perspective too. I just love it. I love the whole topic, the whole thing, and then digging into holistic wellness and working on keeping those little kiddos healthy and happy is just.
I think it's so important. We're not the only ones as adults who are just living in sympathetic mode. Like our central nervous system, it's just turned on all the time. And we're fighting and we're fighting and we're freezing and we're just in that and living in that, like you mentioned, but so are the children. So are the children. And you can see that, and even not being a mom, just watching other people, and you're just like, wow, seems like so many of the young ones these days they're nervous and they have anxiety, and they're either super loud or really, really like drawn in. And I love that your program is helping people and their children create this balance and making sure that they're sleeping. Like children are not sleeping well. And not eating well and not moving and having all of these emotional situations and the inability to concentrate. I have a lot of people in my network who are teachers, and they're talking about the fact that most of their students are medicated. Well, when in the world did this happen? It's just like in the last few decades or so. I mean, and if you need medication, you need medication. I'm definitely all for it. It's just interesting to me, the percentage. And some people say, well, the reason why we have more now is that people didn't understand that medication was needed, back in the day, when we were all in school. But I feel like there's more to that. I feel like there's more to that. Why are so many people, these young minds, so cluttered and unable, not just not focusing, they're not able to do it. They can't be still, they can't focus, they can't have a conversation, like a back and forth conversation. They're very self-focused. It's just really, really an interesting thing. And I wonder, I'd love to get your thought on this. Does it have to do you think, with this balancing of the central nervous system?
Absolutely. I definitely think so. I really think that when I notice myself, if I'm working on my computer all day and then I go and check my social media outlets, and then maybe a couple things catch my eyes, you catch yourself scrolling, and all of a sudden there comes that chaos again, because that's too many things. That was more than I wanted to go and respond and help the people that, left me the messages, and then something caught my eye. But why did I just scroll again?
Exactly.
Because now it created this chaos. And sometimes I think that sometimes it's just too much screen time. There's too much. I mean, I even remember being a child, and if you played video games, that's what you thought about. And I think that we just, maybe that for some of the children who their nervous system is like that, either their role models are very much so in a space where they could use some balance and some time to slow down so they can model the coping tools for their children. And the other part would be definitely looking into how we can just simplify things for these children, because they're going to school. I cannot believe the amount of things that they are learning in 1 week. It is so intense.
Their workloads.
So intense.
Who thought of these things? I don't understand it. And I mean, most of the things that they're studying, I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, I could not help my child with their schoolwork if I had children. I mean, I wouldn't be able to help them. So you as parents, not only do you have to help them with this balance, but you have to help them with all these things. So your brain has to be clear so
Mhm.
that you can help them and you can help them learn how to do these things, not doing it for them, but to learn how to do it and to learn how to approach this whole process of learning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's almost as after school, what they really need is quiet time, place to burn
Mhm.
off energy. They definitely have built up energy because there's too much sitting. There's fluorescent lights. There's
Mhm.
still screen time there. It's so much, so much. It's so much for our nervous system. It's so much for all of our systems. Lunchtime is 20 minutes. They don't get an adequate time to actually eat and digest their food before they're on to the next thing.
I did
So
not know that.
yes. Yes. And actually, by the time that they take their bag, down to the lunchroom and actually get their
It's
lunch
over.
out, it's usually 15. So I think children have a lot going on, and there's a lot of expectation that's not even coming from home. And there's so much that they have to learn, so
Mhm.
much more. And even as adults, with this technology getting so advanced, it seems like we are multitasking now more than ever. So if we're doing 5 things at one time, and then they're trying to wind down after school, but they become in that zone with us too, where they start getting busy minded, where they can do homework, they can watch TV, they
Yeah.
can, play their games, they can do all these things. So we really just need to learn within ourselves first how to slow down and how to simplify.
It's
I
so
think
important.
yes. And one of the things I love to just do with my children is on the way to school, we love to watch the sun rising, and we'll
Mhm.
stop and we'll take a picture of it. I think just pointing out things in nature can help keep them grounded. So, that's just one simple mom tip from one mom to another. If you can, at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, check out the sun, the trees, the moon, the stars. I think it's just a great start to giving them a little outlet just to have some quiet time and let their mind go in a different direction.
Focus. Yes, to get off the screen and get in creation. It's just like it's there, touch things, actually experience it, like be in that, be in
Yeah.
it, and actually take their mind off of the screen or whatever things are rolling around in there and be present in that. I think that's such a great tip. This is important really for all of us because we have gotten out of the habit of knowing how to be quiet and be alone and
Mhm.
be with ourselves and just breathe and
Yes.
reconnect, just for we had one of the things that we do are makeover method clinics, and we had one we do on every Tuesday with my clients, and we did an exercise where we did some just quiet breath work,
Mm,
and we increased it over the hour how long we sat there, and just wanted them to pay attention to how difficult it was to just sit there and breathe,
yep.
just do your breath work
Mhm.
without your mind, just like going crazy and how much longer do we have? And is it time yet? And when I'm done with this, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And just teaching ourselves how to settle.
Yes. It's
It's
so
so
important. And when you can get there, it feels so good. It's such a
important.
peaceful, balanced place.
Hmm.
And that's the ultimate goal, is to take this busy mom who feels like she can't calm down enough to spend, even 15 minutes with her child focused. And that's not what any mom wants. It's just what the busy lifestyle does. So it's to take this busy mom from a place of feeling like when they are trying to enjoy their moments, they still have 10 other things running through their minds, and getting them to a place where they can say, you know what, this is our moment. I'm
Hmm.
focused. I'm present. I'm going to remember this time because time is short, and we're going to make the best of this. We're going to learn, do, and grow together.
Yeah, I love that. So everybody, please reach out. You're going to have, as you get this in your email and on social media, you're going to have a link to get connected with Jamie and she's going to have the opportunity for probably a presentation for you. But check out the links. You're going to get all the details there. You're going to be able to contact her. And again, I want you to be thinking about this for yourselves as moms, but also and dads. We have a couple of dads in our community.
Mhm.
But I also want you to be thinking about it for your clients. I think it's really important because most of my audience, you are holistic practitioners. You probably are serving people in different areas, but we all have our specialties. And not a lot of us are serving moms and their children. So link up with Jamie and see how you can support one another with the audience, this very specialized audience that she's serving in the way that she's serving them. It's really special. I'm so glad to have you here and I thank you very much.
Thank
Do you
you.
want to leave them with before I ask my last question?
I would definitely say just know that it takes a village. It really does. It takes time, and have patience with yourself. Allow yourself time to create balance because you're absolutely worth it. And the reward is very peaceful and balanced. Enjoy those moments with your kids if you have them, and just keep taking care of yourself. Baby steps. That's all it takes.
Love that, baby steps. So thank you for that. And we're shifting gears here. Those of you who are watching some of the later episodes, you'll notice I'm asking a couple of questions at the very end of each episode. And it's for a documentary that I'm going to be creating and releasing probably a year or so from now. And it's all about how we as entrepreneurs develop confidence and what are the things that have stopped us along the way. And what are the things that were really have helped us as people, what we appreciate ourselves as people and how it's really connected to our current success and our current challenges. So the very first question is, we saw how you got started. You took that leap of faith, you jumped in. What are current challenges that you would say that you face in your business?
Currently, I would definitely say technology. When I first started, I was doing consultations in person and teaching in person, but I always knew I wanted to shift gears and be solely online. And there are way more apps and platforms and integrating apps that you would ever imagine. So definitely the tech side of things.
Yeah.
I will say previously it was time management, and that took a lot to figure out time management with 3 children and figuring out your work schedule based on their schedule. So, but now I would say just really the tech side. And I think that when you are online most of the day, sometimes it can feel a little isolated. So you want to share your story and you have this passion and you know you can help people when you're not on a Zoom like we are now and you can't see anyone. It's you're passionate in your writing. You just want to make sure the person on the other side is feeling that. So definitely trying not to feel so isolated and still be so inspirational when you can't see who's on the other side of the screen. So just knowing that they're there, because then when they message you and say, thank you, I needed that, you feel so good. It's like,
you're like, they're hearing it, they feel it. That's the key. They're still feeling it, even though we're not in the same room. Yeah, that is a challenge. Thank you for that. Now, the last thing. You had confidence to get started, and you've probably had challenges along the way. Right now, it's the tech thing and trying to make sure that you stay connected, and you'll conquer that as well. What do you think from early on about you that you were proud of, that you knew about yourself, that gave you that confidence and that faith in yourself? Can you think of things, just whether it be your heritage, your family, something in your background, your story? What gave you that?
Yes, we all have a story. Definitely, my story gave me the dream of being with my children. My story led me to wanting to own my own business and to knowing I could do it because we grew up owning a business, and I started working at a very young age. And believe it or not, I actually did not. I will share this. I did not grow up with my mom. So that is where my dream came in, to truly want to be there for my children and to just truly be able to be present in those moments. So definitely a very good story behind what I teach and the inspiration. I think that gives you the confidence on your path to know that you can change lives. And when you have your faith and you have your end goal or your why behind what you're doing, you can keep going. Just never forget. Even if you have to write it on the wall, don't ever forget why you're doing what you're doing, because there are going to be times when you're not feeling so confident, but you have faith in yourself. You know you can do it. You keep going. And that's the same in motherhood. You have faith in yourself. You know you can do it. You keep going.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. That was great. We appreciate your time. We hope we get to get more info from you. And like I said, you all have links there. Click them, get connected to Jamie. And thank you so much for your time, Jamie. We appreciate
Thank you so much.